Sit within 25 feet of a high performer, your own performance improves by 15%. But if you sit within 25 feet of a low performer, your own performance decreases by 30%. This means that our negative emotions are more contagious. That if you're around people who are low performers, whatever that means to you, who have negative cues, who are feeling anxious or tired or low confident, you could catch those cues and that affects your own performance. This is why it is incredibly critical to invest in the 5 people who you spend the most time.
If your life sucks, change your environment. At least change it to the best of your ability. Our success is determined mostly by our environment, and I can prove this to you by a very personal story. As you guys know, in 2020, I purchased a home based on societal pressure. I felt like it was time for me to be a homeowner. I had the money, it was just sitting in the bank. I should invest it into something. I did not do my research. That's my fault. I wasn't very detailed and very organized when I was searching. I just wanted to accomplish that goal terribly. So I purchased a house in the ghetto. I did not know at the time that it was the ghetto until the very first day where I moved in, and I was so stressed, and I said I should go get McDonald's. And the HOA said if I were you, I would not leave the house past 6 p.m. Ding, 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 ding. I have arrived in purgatory. I was only in that neighborhood for 11 months, and I deteriorated so much. My life took 10 years backwards in just 11 months. I want you guys to go watch my videos in 2023 and compare it to me right now and how my face looks. I go back and watch those videos and I go, who is that? I gained 50 pounds because for some reason poverty and weight gain, they tend to go hand in hand. Everybody in the neighborhood was huge, so I just stopped working out. Humans are animals. We acclimate to whatever environment we're in easily. Like we do it. It's like we don't even know we're doing it. We just acclimate. Even if you don't think you belong, you want to survive, and survival requires you to rely on your pack. I started wearing bonnet. Bonnet. I started wearing it to the gas station to go pick up because I didn't want to stand out because I was already a target because the neighborhood was run by MS-13 and Boroughs 18. Okay, and I will wear. Thank God, I realized something's off. Like, this is not me. I'm gaining weight. I'm not reading books. I'm not acting like myself. And eventually, after only 11 months, I sold a house for like nothing. And I left because I knew that if I had stayed even one more month in that neighborhood, I would never ever be on the pathway towards success ever again. It's impossible because I would acclimate to that neighborhood. And this is backed by neuroscience, and I want to read this chapter from one of my favorite books. It says this. It says, when your environment constantly cues stress, e.g., you're in the ghetto, you're in the hood, negative people, financial struggle, toxic workplace, if you have friends who are always talking about their money problems, or like just always high stress, what happens is your body produces cortisol and adrenaline. Chronic stress hijacks your prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that needs to plan, that needs to innovate, that needs to make decisions on our behalf. It's hijacked when you're in a very high stressful neighborhood or with stressful friends who are always talking about something negative. Instead, your brain stays in survival mode. It's always seeking safety. It's always avoiding risk. And for me, MS-13 was literally hanging out at my front door. So of course, I was always stressed. Next chapter says this: your genes are not fixed switches. They're like piano keys. Our environment, thoughts, emotions, social settings, even air quality are better in rich and wealthy neighborhoods. And your friends are all player that decides which keys in your genes gets played. If you are in a supportive, growth-focused environment, you have great friends who are ambitious, who are successful, who are obsessed with making it to the top of the food chain, well, guess what? That triggers the gene for resilience, it triggers the gene for learning, and it triggers the gene for well-being. If you are in the ghetto or in the hood, and you're in a stressful or stagnant environment, well, guess what? It suppresses growth-related genes, and it activates defense mode ones. And that's very true, because in those 11 months I was in the ghetto, I did not read one single book, and I'm a voracious reader. I'm not saying that you should go buy a house in the nicest neighborhood. Not everyone can afford that. I get it. But even if you rent a bunk bed in the most expensive zip code in your neighborhood, It is much better than having the biggest house in the ghetto or in the hood. I understand this now with 100% certainty. It is better to change your environment than to try to do anything else. Right now, I'm in Florida. I literally feel like I'm in purgatory, okay? Have a beautiful apartment. Huge, huge. Bigger than any apartment that I ever had in LA. But I know if I stay, I will get stuck. Because one or two things, my parents live maybe 20 minutes away. They bring me breakfast every single morning. Stagnation. Love it. I'm privileged. I'm very grateful. But that's how you get stuck, okay? But I know, moving back to LA, I don't care if I rent a mat on Beverly Hills floor. I know within a year, I will accomplish more in LA than I can accomplish 10 years in Florida. I know that environment shapes our neural wiring. We cannot debate neuroscience. That's just what it is. It shapes our hormones. I know that now because when I study my body and I understand my body, when I get around certain people, I get bloated. When I get around certain people, I don't have bloatiness issues. I don't have gut issues because our gut is our second brain. It listens to everything that we say. And now, even when I have meetings, I want to bring clients in. If I feel bloated during that meeting, I will not take you on. Our environment also affects our gene expression. It affects our unconscious behavior. If you want different results, if you want a different life, I implore you to change your environment. You can stay in the same state. You can stay in the same city. I'm not saying move all the way to a different place, but just move to a nicer neighborhood, a quieter neighborhood where you can think, where you can be it's aspiring for you. Here's the truth. Your environment is either dragging you forward or dragging you backwards. There's no neutral. So you want a better life, change your environment. I believe in you, and I pray you always believe in yourself.